the hands for them are not that much fun. But hands are wonderful, expressive things. What I see a lot from the beginning cartoonists is the pocket tricks. Put the hands in the pockets, put the hands behind the back, hide the hands however you can so you don't have to draw the hands. And hands and feet are a tell as to whether someone's a good artist. So know that people are looking for that in your work, and try to deal with it. Got to draw the hands. So I put up a few of my past cartoons to talk about the hands here a little bit, and this is one that I recently drew on Donald Trump and his immigration views. I threw this one in here because you see the simple, fat, three-fingered Warner Brothers cartoons. And a lot of cartoonists like to reduce fingers to three and draw them fat because it's simple and easy. And you shouldn't take the easy way out. You should go for the gusto and draw real hands. And there's probably only about a dozen hand positions that you need to learn. That plus a difference between women's hands and children's hands. And then you've got hands licked. You're really only going to draw those dozen hands over and over. Here, I've got Donald Trump doing a presentation hand. This is something that comes up a lot. You know, here it is. Look at this. This is what I have for you. That's in his left hand, our right. And then the other hand is just pointing at the direction. Follow these guys and look. And I want him to say those things non-verbally. It makes the drawing stronger. Here's another one I did recently that you can also look up on YouTube. See me drawing this one. So, two basic things going on here. You got the fist indicating anger and stress in the elephant. And you've got his finger in make a point position. I'm making a point, but he's making it down to Obama. And then Obama has this passive hands folded to thumbs up right under his chin, which indicates thoughtfulness and and much in contrast to the ideas that the elephant is expressing. So, point here being hands are important, and if this drawing would be much weaker if I didn't have the hands expressing the ideas and the characters. Now, this I do a lot of old couples sitting on the couch, and this is what you do when you don't have a really good graphic idea and you can just draw them talking about what's on the TV being pointed away from you so you don't have to draw what's on the TV. Anyway, the two hands that you see on the couple to the right are just to show that they're sitting in relaxed position on the couch, and they're demonstrating the three-dimensionality of the couch as it goes across those two corners. One thing you'll find when you draw women's hands is very often you want to do more bent wrists, and so I have a bent wrist on her, although I have a bent wrist on him in this one. Anyway, he's making a point and making a point at the TV and doing it casually because you see that his fingers are loose in that image. Here's Obama with the Arab Spring. He's doing the love me not with the flower. Notice what I'm doing with the fingers here. I've got the fingers on both hands are pointing at the focal point of this composition, which is between his nose and the center point of the flower. I want to emphasize the focal point, and I'm doing that also with this Arab Spring vine with thorns. That's also pretty much in its major thrust pointing up towards the focal point of the drawing. So hands can be wonderful compositional elements. Here's an NRA cartoon. What am I doing with the hands here? Guy on the left making a point, but making a point at the character in the middle. The hand on his chest is a symbol of sincerity. He's lying, but he's acting like he's sincere. So that's why the hand on the chest. The character in the middle with his wallet out. The hands are in that position just so I could have it show that he's holding the wallet, yet I wanted to show as much of the wallet as I could to give three-dimensionality. Actually, a wallet is one of the hard things to draw. So I wanted people to look at it and say, that is a wallet. And that's basically the reason for his hand positions. And the pig on the right has hand positions that are indicating he's holding this bag and it's got some weight. And there's not much of an idea expression there, but I want him to hold the bag and show some weight. I might do a whole separate video just on the difference between men and women's hands. And here's Carly Fiorina, and basically you can see that women's hands are just slimmer and more slender, which gives a little bit less opportunity for expression. Here's another one with women's hands and kids' hands, and it's basically the same thing. You take the more opportunities to bend wrists more liberally than you would with men, and the basic things are the same. The kid is expressing herself and indicating honesty, making a point with one finger up, and she is saying, "This is either presentation hand or she's questioning. Give me a response." And then the other hand over on the left side is just showing that she's sitting on a three-dimensional thing. This is another drawing that you can see if you go to my DarylCagle.com page. You can see me drawing this one on YouTube. And basically, hands in out shock position. I don't know what to do with my hands because I'm just getting hit in the head. And Donald Trump's got grasping two more of your dozen positions, shaking hands, grips and grabs among your positions. Now in this one, the hands are pushing back. You push back against something that is a threat. And you push back with an open hand and fingers up. You wouldn't push back with your hands like this, or you wouldn't push back with your hands like that. You push back with your hands like this. This is what makes sense in pushing back. And aside from his grip on his nightstick, all that is I'm afraid of this. Get it away from me. Defensive position. Now here's an oldie. This was back when Mitt Romney was running for president, and he's having a debate with Rick Santorum, who was his main competitor at the time, and they both got Jesus talking in their ear. So what I wanted to do with this one is just have the hands be part of the conversation. You got 4 characters and 8 hands, so the hands are important. And Jesus on the left is making a point with his finger in the air. Romney and Santorum making points at each other, both finger up in the air making a point and pointing kind of at each other, so that there's some purpose and conflict that they're making points. And then Jesus on the right is amplifying what he has to say with a yell kind of emotion. You get the point. The hands are part of the conversation. The hands are part of the expression. The hands are saying something for the character just as much as the words coming out of his mouth in a speech balloon. And that's important. It's not to be avoided. You don't put the hands in the pockets. You don't put them behind the back. You gotta deal with the hands. The hands are part of the deal. So I'll give a quick hand overview. I think I may do 2 or 3 extra hand drawing videos, but at this point, this is basically what you do with hands. Hands are a square and then another square. This square is the fingers, and then here you've got the opposable thumb, which can go out that way, can go out that way. And that is a hand. Now, what beginning artists don't quite have to struggle with is that they think of the fingers as being like these sausages, independently moving sausages, and they are not independently moving. Think of this 2 square deal as being 2 planes. The plane moves like this, and then the top plane, the fingers move together. So you can have this top plane move out that way. You can have it bend, but where it bends, you want to think of this top plane as moving together. So I can just come in here and I'll draw a little bit of a bend here with these fingers. And you can see that you want them to all point in the same direction. And then I add a little more detail to the opposing thumb here. And that's basically what you need from this hand, just doing this. But if you use as a starting point the 2 square design, you can have your opposing thumb go whatever direction you want. You can have your hands go down. This upper square is now bent that way. And so here you've got your guy hitchhiking. Want to make a point. Finger up. And then the other 3 together in tandem down. You're going to do this stuff over and over and over, and it's always going to be the 2 square design. In this case, the top square is bent over like that in perspective against us, with the 1 finger deviating. Now, let's do an elephant here. I draw lots of donkeys and elephants, so elephants are my mainstay. There's his neck, his tie. We draw lots of business suits and ties as editorial cartoonists. So his arm comes down here. What is the most passive, disinterested position for the hand? It is just this. And out like that. Now, note that the fingers are all pretty much in the same position, and I've pretty much got this 1 square, 2 square thing going on. And that's what you want to do. Let's put his other arm out here and have him make a point. All right, there he's made a point. I've got my square with another square bent down in this perspective. Square, another square, like a piece of paper bent in that perspective, and the opposing thumb. And with that part of the top square, he's making a point. These other 2 parts, his other 2 fingers are in position for making a point. Thumb a little bit bigger. So, I may do another lesson on opposing thumbs and different hands, but this is basically it. It's square, square, opposing thumb. And if you just follow that rule, you're going to be safe with your hands. And if you want to do women's hands, you just make them thinner. So this hand on a woman elephant would be thinner, or else the fingers might bend around. Or like that, put little fingernails on them. Anyway, you get the idea. Don't avoid hands. Make hands part of the conversation, part of the expression. And that's my Daryl Cagle Lesson 1 on hands. Thank you so much. And join me for the next stuff by looking at my videos on darylcagle.com. You can go back and there's so much to see. And come see me when I'm live streaming. And please come like my page on Twitch and on YouTube. Thank you very much.